I can only lead you to the door. It's up to you to open it.
So today, guys, we are going to be talking about shadow work and basically just how it's done. I did a video a while ago, basically about your shadow self. I think I deleted it though because it was a long time ago and I was really just talking about your shadow self, but not shadow work. So yeah, today we're going to get into shadow work. I'm just going to bring up a few topics that you could be thinking about when you're in shadow work, talking about what shadow work is. And yeah, just the basics and the beginning kind of energies that you want to be thinking about when you are on this journey of healing and self-discovery, like all of us are. So yes, if you're interested in shadow work, curious, want to see how it's done, then just keep on watching. So everyone has a shadow self. Your shadow self is basically all the parts of yourself that you would like to think that aren't there, you would like to ignore, the parts of yourself that you try to abandon and leave out, the lust, the greed, the addictions, the fear, the insecurity, all of those things make up your shadow self and a lot of other elements that we're going to be discussing. Y'all know I got notes, okay? But yeah, all of those elements make up your shadow self. Some people name their shadow selves. You know what I'm saying? Whenever they get mad, their shadow comes out, or if they have to defend themselves and they got to get reckless, the shadow self will come out. You know what I'm saying? Those types of situations. The goal of shadow work, in my opinion, is really just to discover and understand every element of yourself. Every part of ourselves is beautiful. Every piece of you is beautiful. Every piece of you is what you need to get to where you have to go in this lifetime. So if you have to deal with some things that aren't that good and aren't that positive, and you don't think they're that, the qualities aren't that good, then I mean, hey, we all have to deal with those things. But I definitely think that finding out and identifying the parts of your shadow self, the elements of your shadow self, will basically allow you to use those negative things and turn them into positive things. I feel like a lot of us, we might think that we have so many problems and it's so confusing, but when you put a name to something and you can kind of understand it better, it makes it a lot less scary and a lot less intimidating.
I don't think I'm going to go into too much shadow work in this video. I think that's going to be my next video, but definitely going to talk about my shadow. It definitely took a while for me to, distinguish between my ego and my shadow, right? Because I feel like, me personally, this might not apply to nobody else, and I don't give a damn what nobody say, but with me, my ego is my higher self, and my lower self is my shadow, right? And I had to learn to distinguish between the two because with me, my shadow and my ego are slightly different than the norm. You feel what I'm saying? Like, my ego is the one that's like, fuck everybody. I don't need you motherfuckers. Yeah, my ego and my shadow work a little bit different than everybody else. You feel me? Like, my ego is the one that's like, fuck everybody. I don't need you motherfuckers. I know what I know. I stand on what I believe in, and I'm firm on it, and I'm stay true to that. You feel me? And my shadow is the one that's, my shadow is the one that's, more susceptible to being open to people and, you know, accepting and shit like that because, you know, I would have never went through the shit that I went through if I was in my ego and not my shadow. You know what I'm saying? Cause my ego is alert to the bullshit. You feel what I'm saying? My ego already know what's going on, and it's my shadow that let me get hurt or what I'm saying, shit like that. Let me go through the shit that I went through, right? Because if I was in my ego, then I wouldn't have dealt with the people that I dealt with or went through everything that I went through. But everything I went through was for a reason, so I appreciate my shadow, right? You know what I'm saying? Because with your shadow, well, with my shadow, right? Like, my shadow tends to see the best in everybody, and you know, my shadow, it gives people the benefit of the doubt. My shadow, my shadow can ignore red flags and all of these things, you know, what previously could, because I ignored my shadow for the longest. But your shadow and your ego can either be your best friend or your worst enemy. And it is very true that we are our own worst critics, right? We criticize ourselves harder than anybody else. We do. We tend to create these realities that, you know, are unobtainable to live in full. Like, you have to be able to operate in between your shadow and your ego. You have to be able to operate in between your higher self and your lower self, right? And so the ultimate is to operate in between the two. You know what I'm saying? You have your higher self and your lower self. And once you can achieve balance between the two, you know what I'm saying, then that's when you have mastered this experience. You know what I'm saying? Because with my shadow, I tend to always want to see the best in people. I tend to always want to help everybody and neglect myself. And, you know, your shadow is anything that, you know what I'm saying, that you wish wasn't true about yourself. It could be greed, it could be obsession, it could be addiction, it could be anything. One thing I'm self-conscious about is my weight, right? And so at one point in my life, I had it all the way fully under control. And then, you know, I started listening to outside people, felt like they knew better than me, you know what I'm saying? And started doing things the way they felt like I should do things. And, you know, eventually I fell off, you know what I'm saying, of my plan and my system that I had going, stopped working, listening to other people. You know what I'm saying? And that was due to my shadow, not my ego. You know, I had my ego fully in check back then. You know what I'm saying? I had a system that was working for me, and I stuck to that shit. You know what I'm saying? Tooth and nail. I fought tooth and nail to keep that system going, but, you know, my shadow allowed outside influences to break my structure down. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I'm definitely in the process of getting it back together. You know what I'm saying? You'll see in future videos. It's not a game, you know. But I'm definitely tapping back into my ego. I've been dealing with my shadow a lot lately, you know. Just feeling like, you know, outside people and outside influences know better than me. You know what I'm saying? And not to say that I know everything, you know what I'm saying? But I know a lot and I know enough, you know what I'm saying, I know enough to do what I'm about to do. You know what I'm saying? I know enough to be able to get to this point, you know, and that's enough to keep me going. Like, another thing about my shadow, another thing about me that I wish wasn't so at times is how big my heart is, right? Like, having a big heart can end you up in some fucked up situations, right? Like, you know, my heart. I wish it wasn't so big. I wish I didn't care like I did. I wish I couldn't feel everything. Well, I used to. You know, sometimes I wish I wasn't so fucking empathic. And sometimes I wish I couldn't see the shit that I see. But, you know, it's all in how you react to what you see. And it's all in what you choose to consume. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you are what you consume. Like, no matter if it's what you eat, if it's what you watch, what you listen to, the things you do on a daily basis, the things you do, you become that. And so there is no one right fucking way to do shit. You know what I'm saying? And fuck you to all of these motherfuckers out here that feel like they got the one fucking answer. Like, oh, this is the only way to fucking enlightenment. Man, fuck you. All you motherfuckers. Fuck all you motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Like, no. The knowledge is there. I'm not here to tell you what to fucking eat. I'm not here to tell you what the fuck to do with your life. I'm only here to give you my experience and tell you the shit that I know. If it resonate, take it, use it. If it don't, move the fuck on. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here to tell you that I got all the fucking answers. I don't. You know what I'm saying? But if I could keep you from going through some shit that I went through, bet. That's cool, you feel me? But yeah, man, cause like I say, that was my downfall, listening to another motherfucker, you feel me? But yeah, man, like, you know what I'm saying? Just hindsight looking at the shit I went through, man. Just with my shadow, man. Like, my ego knew what the fuck was up. You know what I'm saying? Like, my ego was on alert to the bullshit, but my shadow let the bullshit in. You know what I'm saying? But I'm fully in tune with both now. You know what I'm saying? And I think I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna do a shadow work video. I already got an ego death video. You know what I'm saying? So. I'll probably do a video on the ego, but I think definitely after this one, it's gonna be my video on shadow work, and then I do one about the ego, and then I think I'm gonna go into the universal laws. I know while I was doing my chakra videos, I said I was going to go into the different types of relationships, but I'm not even on that shit right now, bro. Like, man, I'm not even on that shit no more. Like, I really don't even care. Like, man, like all these fake woke ass people, and you know, everybody's so stuck in their ways, and you know, and I don't think I'm gonna be in a relationship for a while anyway, so I'm not even on that. Don't nobody out here think for themselves. So I'm just gonna attract what's supposed to come to me, and when I get back in the mood for relationships and shit, then I'll probably do a video on that shit and the different types of. I'll probably go into it later, but as for right now, I'm not even on that. I'm gonna go on and wrap this up, because if your video is too long, you can't upload them to Instagram. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start doing double uploads. I'm gonna try to keep my videos within like 15 minutes, and I'm gonna start uploading to YouTube and Instagram. Well, I'm gonna wrap this up, man. But yeah, man, tap into your shadow. Your shadow and your ego can be your best friend or your worst enemy. You know what I'm saying? And I embrace my dark times as well as my good light times, you feel me? So just tap into yourself, love yourself, know yourself, stand on what you believe in. Do your research, take what resonates. Don't follow nobody blindly, not even me. You feel me? And with that, it's been me, Osaru Maruka. I can only lead you to the door. It's up to you to open it. Peace. You know, if you're not in the right mental space or at my level of understanding, bitch, get the fuck out of here. Bruh! Fucking up my fucking video, stupid bitch! Damn, bro. I'm about to cut this shit out of my fucking video, bitch. Damn, bro. We're like, yeah, my ego and my shadow